Hey everyone! So, I've had a lot of friends, guildies, and even customers asking me all kinds of different questions about the new profession system, and I understand it can be pretty confusing. It has changed a lot since it looked like this once upon a time. So I thought, well, may as well try and make a kind of simplified guide on it. So, welcome to War Within Crafting Professions, explained by an idiot. I just want to preface and say I am by no means an expert on this. Everything you hear is to the best of my knowledge and just what I've learned from experience. I just wanted to try and make kind of a simplified guide that's just easy to follow. So let's start off with ranks, and then we'll just kind of go down the little crafting list on the side and explain everything bit by bit. I'll try and throw in chapters in case there's a particular one you're curious about, just so you can skip to it. So, most things profession related now have some kind of rank. For materials and consumables, these go from 1 to 3, and for crafted gear, weapons, and profession gear, these go all the way up to 5. So, for the materials, the level of these is dependent on your gatherer, but that is a whole other story, and I might just make a gatherer explain video to go through that. However, to put it simply, the higher the skill, the higher the mats they'll gather. Consumables and other crafts, such as gear, are all dependent on a few factors: the quality of mats used, the skills, the tools, knowledge. We'll be going through most of these in just a minute. So, recipe difficulty is a pretty short and simple one. It tells you how difficult a craft is to make, and the skill you would need to achieve it at max rank. These difficulties can be manipulated with different additions, such as missives, which alter the stats of an item, embellishments, which are additional effects for the item, and crests, which can increase the item level of the item. Each of these will increase the difficulty of the item and have 3 ranks each. Rank 1 increases the difficulty by 25, 2 is 15, and rank 1 is 5. So next up is your current skill. Now, this is altered by a fair few factors. Naturally, the first is just your profession skill that just goes from 1 to 100, as always. As previously mentioned, the materials have different ranks now, so depending on what you use, the quality will change. Rank 1 materials won't do anything. Rank 2 materials provide a 25% skill increase, and rank 3 is 33%. So for example, if a recipe has 100 recipe difficulty, providing 4 rank 3 materials will give you an extra 33 skill towards it. So next we have profession tools. There are multiple variants of these: green uncommons, which if you have all 3 will provide 18 skill, 5 for each of the accessories and 8 for the tool itself. Then there is the blue rare variants, which will provide 40 total skill, 11 for each of the 2 accessories and 18 for the tool. Enchanting also has an epic tool, but this still only gives 18 skill. Tools are crafted by various professions. The green uncommons are BOE, so you can just find these on the auction house, or you can craft them yourself if you have the corresponding profession, or you can just find another crafter to do them for you. The blue tools are all bind on pickup, so you'll either have to craft them yourself if you have the required profession, or you'll have to place a crafting order at the crafting order station. Okay, so now for knowledge. And no, I don't mean what's in your head. I mean the knowledge points in the knowledge tree. So, at the bottom of the profession window is a tab for specializations. Clicking this will show some trees and some nodes for various things you can specialize in. Eventually, you're going to learn all of this, but it's very heavily time-gated, so that's going to take quite a while. Basically, you pick what you wish to specialize in, and then you slowly move down that tree. So, say you're a blacksmith, and you're wanting to go into weapons. You would go into the weaponsmithing tree, and then slowly move along each node towards the weapons you wish to make. So, for example, weaponsmithing into blades, and then into long blades. Each point into these would then contribute a skill point towards that craft. You may also notice that the nodes have these little spikes on them. These are little bonuses once you have that many knowledge points invested. So these may give additional skill points, like the ones that give 5, 10, or even 15 additional points, or they may allow you to use different finishing regions or optional ones, such as the missives and the embellishments mentioned earlier. As mentioned previously, once you hit a certain milestone in the knowledge tree node, you can add optional finishing regions to the specified craft. A few of these optional regions provided additional skill, such as the stack of pentacle reviews that adds a 10 additional skill to the craft. There are two ways to obtain these finishing regions. You can either purchase them on the auction house, or they are sometimes rewarded from doing the patron crafting orders. These patron orders are like normal crafting orders, except they're placed by NPCs, and only you can see them and accept them, and they refresh every so often, like every few days or something. So next in the list is concentration. However, this and ingenuity basically tie in together, so I'll just lump them in as one. So, in Dragonflight we had inspiration, which was a random chance to proc additional skill on a craft. Well, in the War Within, that has been changed to concentration and ingenuity. So the difference is now being that instead of being a random proc that gives extra skill, it is now guaranteed additional skill, but it is very limited. You're initially given a maximum of 1000 concentration. This recharges at, I think, about 10 an hour. Ingenuity is the chance to refund some of that concentration spent. So for example, let's say I'm making a two-handed sword and you can only do rank 4. I can then press the concentrate button, and as long as I have enough concentration, it will be 100% rank 5. There's no proc, there's no random chance, it will just be rank 5. Just be aware though, you can only concentrate up to the next rank. So you can't make a rank 2 into a rank 5 using concentration, but you could make a 3 into a 4 into a 5, and you get the picture. Ingenuity can be manipulated in a couple of different ways. Obviously, you can gain it as a stat on your profession tool. There's also a file that you can use that will give you extra concentration for an hour, or extra ingenuity, sorry. You can also use optional finishing regions that can provide some for the craft. Some profession knowledge trees also have an ingenuity node. These nodes may give additional points in your ingenuity, or even better, they may have specific points on them that they say either use X amount of less concentration with a craft, or refund an additional other amount. This can be especially useful because on some professions, such as enchanting, this can actually mean if you get an ingenuity proc, you're refunded all of your concentration, so you can just keep going and going and going, obviously until it doesn't proc and you do start running out. The optional regions I mentioned can either be crafted or found on the auction house. Resourcefulness is a really handy addition that can save you some sweet gold. It basically gives you a chance to get back some of the materials you use when crafting. So let's say you're making a weapon which uses a ton of expensive sanctified alloys. With a resourcefulness proc, you might get some of those alloys back, so you can either save them for other crafts or just chuck them back up in the auction house to get some of your money back. You can gain additional resourcefulness by having it as a stat on your profession tool, using one of the finishing regions that I've mentioned previously, because there's also one for resourcefulness, and there should also be a node in each profession knowledge tree for one. Okay, so this one clearly speaks for itself. It is literally just the speed you craft at. Why might this be useful, you might be wondering? Well, if you're doing something in bulk like potions, or if you're unraveling cloth, or if you're trying to do some kind of crafting shuffle, if you know about them and you're into them, you'll be making so much stuff, and crafting speed will just save you time. Okay, Multicraft also does exactly what it says on the tin. It's just your chance to craft multiple of something. Obviously, this does not work on everything, such as gear, weapons, and things like that. You're not going to craft 5 swords when you try and make one. But you can proc it on things like alloys, potions, flasks, other crafted materials, and consumables. You can increase your multicraft using stats on the profession tool, just like with the others. There's also finishing regions for it, of course, and most professions will have a node for it somewhere in the knowledge tree. But what makes multicraft even better is that it goes hand in hand with resourcefulness, so they can both end up proccing together, and you can make so much like that if you're lucky. So that was probably a little bit of a mess, but I think that just about covers everything. I know it's a lot to digest in one go, but just keep in mind it's all a learning process, and understanding everything will take some time. To put it short though, crafting speed for bulk crafts and shuffles, multicrafts for those consumables and crafted materials, resourcefulness can go with just about everything, and ingenuity and concentration are both great for those difficult crafts you can't quite max out yet. I really hope this helps some of you out, and if you have any questions, don't even hesitate to just leave a comment and I'll do whatever I can to help, if I can answer it, of course. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.